19 after 9, BBC WM 95.6 Ed Doolan keeping you company on this Sunday morning. A Kinver man has become the oldest cyclist to win gold at a World Masters Cycling Championship. He's 78 years old. He's sitting with me now in the studio. Wally Fowler is his name, and he recently clinched the time trial title in the over 75s category in Manchester. Despite a battle with blood cancer, Walter shows no signs of slowing down. So there, welcome.
Thank you very much, Ed. Kind of you to invite me. Especially as I gather you're got a good year for you, celebrating 30 years, I understand.
30 years at this station?
Yes, at this station, or more than that.
Oh, yes.
The idea of talking for 30 years frightens me to death. Yeah. I suggest it's more arduous than riding against competitive cyclists.
I don't know about that. I'm thinking now, you've made me think, I think it's about 42 years.
Is it?
42 years.
Well done.
Oh, well. Congratulations on your gold medal. I don't get one.
Thank you.
How long have you been cycling?
Well, I started in 1949, 1950. And my first first competitive streak was in 1950 on the track. Started in Brighton.
Just explain the type of race you're competing in. Is it within a velodrome track that we see like at the Olympics?
Yes, exactly.
Like
this was at Manchester, this last one. Previously, it's been at Australia and in Portugal. That's the World Masters I'm talking about. And it is the same velodrome.
How long has this over 75 category existed? Because I'm too young.
Yeah, well, it's only existed since 2009. And I was personally instrumental in getting it introduced because I lobbied the UCI when I was out in Australia in 2008, when they ran, in Sydney, by the way, and you come from Sydney, don't you?
Yes, indeed.
When they were running the World Masters at that time. And I took the opportunity to meet up with top officials of the UCI while I was there, gave them a 120 signature petition saying we ought to have a 75 plus category, mainly because I was 74 at the time and I had nowhere to go unless they did. And fortunately they introduced it, and they introduced it in 2009.
But this category isn't actually recognised by the British National Championship people, is it?
Well, the British cycling have dragged their feet on it for some curious reason. The 75 plus is available in the world and in Europe and USA and South Africa and Australia, but British cycling haven't chosen to introduce the 75 plus for the national championships. They don't give a particularly reasonable reason. I can't imagine why they don't do it. They claim there's not enough numbers, but as I said to them at the time, keep saying to them, if you have a category, you'll get some entries. If you don't have a category, you won't get any entries. So it's self-fulfilling to say that there are not enough numbers.
He appears to be making sense there, Brian.
Yeah, Walter, I just want to ask you a question. It's about, things that have been going on in the news of cycling. Actually, you're sitting next to the man who bought a Freeview box solely so he could watch the Tour de France on ITV4.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's just fantastic experience, just watching it on television. I mean,
yes.
I mean, what it must be like being in it, goodness only knows. But when you see the success of Britain, for instance, in last year's Tour de France, and the success of Britain at Olympic cycling, and then you hear the story of Lance Armstrong and all the drug taking, doesn't it put a big question mark over the whole of cycling? Doesn't it taint the whole sport?
Well, you could have said that certainly 5 to 10 years ago, but I was drug tested for my recent world record, as all world record with UCI have to be drug tested. And the drug tester told me specifically that cycling today is now one of the cleanest sports. And he mentioned two others that I won't pass on to you as being more tainted than cycling is.
The only thing is, because Lance Armstrong says that he never ever failed a drugs test.
Yes.
So I mean, he was saying that he was clean then as well. So it just becomes a little bit harder, doesn't it, to believe? I'm not saying you're not telling me the truth, but
no, of course not. But a drug tester is likely to be telling me the truth, and he said it quite categorically that now the WADA, that's the World Anti-Drug Authority, have cleaned up their own act, streamlined themselves, and they have ensured that they're getting a much firmer hold on it. One can't say that it's eliminated altogether, because in all sports, in every walk of life, there's always somebody who maybe do something wrong. But they are offering far better control now than they used to. So I personally am satisfied that our sport is now much cleaner.
What do you think Britain's chances are in the Tour de France this year?
Well, Dave Brailsford of British Cycling, he has set out his objective, as he did last year in winning the Tour de France. He has set out that he wants to get winners in all three of the big classics. He seems to be a man who does what he says he's going to do. So there's high hopes that we can do it again.
And just specifically on the people who cycle at great speed, what about Mark Cavendish? Do you think he's going to have a good Tour de France?
Well, he, as you may know, has switched from Sky onto Omega Pharma something,
Yeah,
in order to allow him more opportunity to use his sprinting skills.
Yeah.
He has a unique ability to combine endurance with a sprint, and he hasn't been entirely happy at being subjected to helping others,
You've suffered some injuries over the years. You've had this battle with blood cancer, took you off the road for a bit. You're in good nick.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, I am.
I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
No.
You look in good nick.
Oh, thank you. I'm lucky, actually, and it is luck. My mother was 103 when she died, and I like to think that I've inherited her good genes and kept away from the bad ones.
Are you the oldest competitor on the track?
On the track, yes. You mentioned the Masters cyclists. It's not entirely that, because on the road they do have even 80-year-old riders winning gold medals on the road. So we are talking about the oldest track Masters, yes.
I'd like to ask you about Olympic gold medalist Tommy Godwin, who passed away this week, aged 91. Tommy won 2 bronze cycling medals at the 1948 Olympics. Was he an inspiration to you?
Well, now, you've shocked me, because I didn't know anything about this. I didn't know he had died this week. And I've been speaking to him in the last few months, and he's seemed entirely happy. A lot of people have been speaking to him, seemed entirely healthy. I'm astonished. As for being an inspiration, well, he has been a leading light in Britain for many, many years, and everybody looks up to him, of course. He's a good
I do
old
apologise.
stager.
I wouldn't want to spring something like that on you. I really do apologise.
Oh no, it's okay. We get used to it. At my age, I'm getting used to the idea that people of my age around me are popping off one by one.
Thanks for reminding me. How lovely, though, that Tommy was a torchbearer this summer in Solihull. It's just nice.
Yes.
It's nice.
Yes.
Can I thank you very much for joining us? How long do you intend to take part in competitions?
Until I drop, I guess. So long as I'm able to keep doing what I'm doing and perform reasonably, and so long as I continue to enjoy myself, which I do, and in the club that I am in Halesowen, everything is going for me, I'll keep going for as long as I can.
But you are the oldest competitor on the track.
No, I'm not the oldest competitor. I'm the oldest to have won the gold medal. For instance, riding behind me in this year's Masters was an 80-year-old, and he was second to me, and he's 18 months older than I am. Fortunately, I beat him, otherwise my face would be red, wouldn't it?
Well, you're in great nick, and it's a pleasure. What have I got in front of me here?
Well, that's the gold medal. And in case you haven't seen a rainbow jersey, there's a rainbow jersey. Have you seen a rainbow jersey?
No.
Now, the Masters has a blue background, and the rainbow jersey for the Ordinary World Championships, that's all the youngsters, theirs is a white background.
And yours is the rainbow.
That's right.
Terrific.
And interesting, I'm wearing purple, which is the colour of of Hale's Owen Club. And Bernie, when I arrived, took a look at it and she said, "Oh, I like purple." Well, as it happens, I've got an authentic statement here that men unlucky in love should try wearing purple more often, according to a survey. A poll of 2,000 people concluded that women were more likely to accept a date from men wearing purple. So there you are.
Brian?
He's got a purple thing on his microphone, if you notice, Walter.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, it's so sad. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Absolute delight meeting up with you.